Hello everyone. It's Friday afternoon and the first week of the third term is done and dusted. So here's to my report on I'm now in my nearly completed my 8th week of my 20-week marathon training program, and I'm here today to report back. Unfortunately, there is not much to report back on this week. Toggie. After my last recording, I think I did it on Sunday, I told you that I was in limping mode and that I had some hip pain and my butt was acting up, and I discovered that it was like the front side of my hip that was aching, like the spot. Don't know if you can see over here. This front side of my hip was very sore and very tender, and I was limping, and I was suspecting that it was my piriformis, or the inner deep butt muscle, that was acting up again and causing the hip muscle to contract and to go into spasm. So that is what I was suspecting. So I was really not running much this week. I was in resting mode, I was in recovery mode, I was in injury mode, I almost want to say. So that was my week. I don't have much to report on. I went to the physio on Tuesday. Tuesday afternoon I went to the physio, and she did a very, very good job in just working out the kinks in my muscles. It was so sore, but also it was a great relief. Those of you that have been to a physio know that it can be a very painful process, but when they press those right buttons, those muscle knots, and work out all those spasms, it is also a great sense of relief. So and interestingly enough, although I was feeling the pain in the front side of my hip, that was not where she was focusing on. She was like working here in this inner side of my groin, so here in my lies. She was working in the deep hip muscle. She was like releasing the pressure and releasing the muscle knots. But it was very, very sore. And then she was working a little bit on my range of motion, because that was very poor. I was struggling to bend my leg to the side. I was even struggling to stretch, because my whole right side, from my bum towards the front side of my hip and my inner groin, was like in a total, I don't want to say spasm, it was just extremely, extremely tight. So she was working on that for me, and then she did some electroshock thingy. Don't know what they call it, all these machines that the physios have nowadays to help release the muscle tension. And then she strapped me, she stretched me and bent me, and so she strapped me with a tape to take some of the strain off the muscle. So she did my butt, and she did the front side of my hip. She put a tape, and I felt much better after that. Not completely better, but much better. So I went for a power walk with my running buddy on Wednesday, and I felt good. And then I tried a 5K yesterday. Very, very slow, very easy 5K, and I felt good. Didn't have any pain, except when I started walking after the run. I was kind of limping again, and I could still feel that the hip wasn't sore at all anymore, but I could really feel the tightness still here on my butt side, like this, this whole region here is like very stiff and tight, and wil nog altyd nie strek nie. It's very resistant to stretching. It's like when I try to stretch, then the muscle is like crying out, no, don't do this, no. Anyway, so I went back again to the physio today. I felt the need to go back. She said I must come back if I feel I still need another follow-up. So I went back, and She did a good job again today. It's actually a different physio today, but she did a very good job, excellent. And she even discovered that my right thigh, there's a very biological name for your right thigh, which I can't get to now. But anyway, so my right thigh, she also found it's very, very, very extremely tight. So she worked on that muscle for me as well. And then also on the butt muscle again. So I'm feeling actually great. So I'm going to try to do a 10K tomorrow. I'm going to take it easy again. I'm going to go do a park run tomorrow morning. And then I will just add in another 5K because park run is 5. And I'll see how it goes. And then if all goes well, I'm going to gently jump back into my training program. But I must also tell you, in the meantime, I have re-evaluated my training program because I'm not too sure if this program is working for me. And I am considering jumping, because a plan is a plan, but if it's not working, you need to adapt the plan. So I will hold on to the vision and I will trust the process, as is my slogan. But I'm thinking of jumping to the program that's the Sundown Cape Town Marathon, placed on their website, on their Facebook page. So I'm thinking I am considering, or I've actually decided kind of already, made up my mind that I'm going to start doing this plan. But this is a 12-week program. But it actually aligns very well now because I'm on week 8. So that means next week I can jump on board with this program, starting at day 1. Which will be my week 1 of a 12-week program. So take note, friends and family and whoever's following me on this journey, that I am no longer going to be following a 20-week program, but the 12-week program. But this program has not been in vain because it has given me a good base and a starting point and has helped me with my mileage. But just to give you an idea of how the plans differ is, like on this plan, I am supposed to do a 26-kilometer long run coming Saturday. Not tomorrow, next week and Saturday. But the new plan I will be following from next week on Saturday, I'm only supposed to run a 14K. The week after, a 16K. So if I compare the two programs, I think maybe this one is a bit, I don't want to say extreme, but maybe not ideal for me and for where I am in my running journey. So yes, so have a plan, but be willing to adapt and change your plan if you find that the plan is not sufficient or gonna get you to your goal. So that I've decided. Okay, so vir een wat nie geoefen het nie, I quite have a long feedback today. And one thing I've realized in this week that's passed, where I was resting a lot, lekker gerus, what I realized was, and I said this to the physio today actually, I thought when I decided to set running a marathon as a goal, I thought the largest part of the work I'm going to be doing is running and running and running long and running far. But I've come to discover and learn the past 2 weeks with my injuries and recovery days that recovery and taking care of my body and seeing that I'm fit to run and healthy enough to run is a major part, if not the most important part of this process, is making sure that I am in a physical condition to be able to follow my program and do the training that needs to get me to my goal, which is running a marathon. So yeah, so I'm going to be stretching and rolling much more, looking at my diet, trying to get enough sleep and trying to keep a good balance between my training and my work and not having too much stress, because the stress also affects recovery. So it's going to be a tough call, balancing everything in this third term between my personal life, my work life, my training life, marathon life that feels it's a life on its own. But yeah, short-term sacrifice for long-term goals. So yes, Anyway, have a wonderful, wonderful weekend. I will see you for the next follow-up next week. Bye-bye.